if you're only shopping pricing and you took 5 general contractors, and I'm just going to say general contractors because that's what I know. If you take 5 general contractors and you're shopping the same thing, let's just take it as a kitchen remodel. And out of those 5, you've decided I'm going to buy, as the homeowner, you're going to buy the products, the countertop, the tile, the plumbing fixture, the flooring, all this kind of stuff. So to you, the only element in this is the labor. And so for you, you're shopping the lowest labor amount that you can to get that product installed. I don't look at it the same way, because it's not just the install that you're paying for. It's you have people in your house. So the way that they're going to install it, who's going to stand behind it. There are going to be issues that come up during the process. So how do they handle those? And then if there are change orders, how do they handle that? What is the person that they're going to hire? Because generally you're going to hire a company. So what type of employees are they bringing into your house? What kind of management do those people have in place to watch over those people? What kind of customer relationships do they have to where when there are problems, how are they going to handle it? So when you think of all of this, the product you're putting in is exactly the same, but the process in which they do it is totally different. So if you're only looking at a price model, to me, it just doesn't even make sense. I always tell all of my friends, especially people that we can't help, if maybe they're in another state or something like that, the pricing to me is like your third element that you want to look at. The first element is, do I even like the work that they do? And then if you do like that work, you meet with them. What is the company about? Like, who's going to be the person running the project? Do they have people in place for that? Like how many projects can they handle? Just to make sure that the workflow goes the way you want. And then on the last maybe part would be pricing, just because it has to be able to fit into your budget. But if I was to go find a surgeon and I wanted the best surgeon to fix my knee, I'm not going to shop 5 different surgeons and find out who does the cheapest surgery to do my knee. That would be like the worst case scenario. That would be like I couldn't afford all the good people, so I had to do this other person just because I can't live without my knee getting replaced. But then you can't be mad that the surgery didn't go right, the bed manner wasn't there, they didn't help out when it actually didn't work. Like there's so many things that go into it. Why would you complain about that person when you knew that you weren't getting a good product? And the same goes for our industry. What you're trying to accomplish is the same. If it's a knee surgeon, that's to replace the knee. And if it's a remodeling contractor, it's to remodel your house. But you can't expect that that person's going to do the same as the other person. But that also doesn't mean that someone who's charging a lot is going to do a better job. That's why I say pricing, you can't get too focused on, because there's guys that overcharge that don't deliver good products. And then there's guys who, are reasonably priced and I think they deliver good products. But again, it's just finding the right balance. And to me, it's interviewing contractors to see who is the contractor that you really like, who is the person you really want. And then from there, the pricing kind of works out. So to me, I do the same with my subs. I mean, I don't want someone that is going to rip me off, right? Because that's going to go to the homeowner. But at the same time, I'm not too focused on their pricing, especially at the very beginning. It's, do they show up on time? Are they clean? When there is a problem, because there's always a problem, how do they deal with it? Is it something that it's always going to be something I have to handle and come to a conclusion and resolve that solution myself, or are they going to work with me on it? And so as a homeowner, I would hope, or I would think that that's what you would want to do too. But it's so funny to me because I feel like over and over again, majority of the people, I get the consensus that they really don't care. That most of the time it is so price driven. And that's when they just complain about our industry and it gives us a bad name and all this kind of stuff. And because there's so many people that say they're contractors, or, there's a lot of unlicensed people and stuff like that. And so when there are problems, there's no recourse for it. and then the homeowner just complains why the project went sideways when really there was no structure to it. There was no planning. They probably didn't go with the right person. So that's what I've kind of loved about Instagram and YouTube, is that you get to see people's products so much better now than just kind of word of mouth. And on top of that, if you want to, you can call that person, whoever did the project, or whoever they did the project for, and you can talk to them about that experience. But man, the pricing model to me just drives me crazy. I don't know, there's certain things I think you could price out, but man, the kitchen and bathroom, you're just never going to get the same. You might get the same product or outcome maybe with like expensive and less expensive, because you bought the product, what product's going in, but still at the end of the day, if one project lasts you a year and another one should only last you 2 months, and one was constant headaches, and maybe the bathroom that you were remodeling would have been the same price as the other guy who probably charged you a little more up front, just because he knew what things he was going to anticipate for and didn't want to come to you for these minor change orders, where another guy, he lives off of the fact that he's going to be able to change order you in the middle, and you're going to be stuck, because at that point, what are you going to do? You're not going to bring in another person, because, well, let's be honest, if you're in the middle of a project and you bring in another contractor, that other contractor knows something's not going right, and he doesn't want to get involved, because it's now everyone's upset. The contractor you're working with currently is screwing stuff up or is unhappy, and the homeowner now is like kind of looking at everything through a microscope, and so it just never works out really well for the new contractor coming in too, even if he is trying to do everything correctly. It's just too much micromanaging going on. So that's always like a bad situation if you're a homeowner and you get stuck in the middle. That's why it's so important to pick the right one from the very beginning.